Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Planet Crafter. Where yeah, I think technology-wise, if I can come in here, the next really big thing we probably want to work on is the launch platform. For that, we need to find 3 super alloy. There's maybe also an argument to get their recycling machine, mostly the launch platform here. If we had a reliable source of super alloy, we'd probably go to the nuclear reactor as well, but that's a little bit more of an ask. Biodome, again, if we had super alloy, we'd probably pick that up. Yeah, that's the main thing I think we're working towards. So we need to go out, we need to go find some super alloy, sort of exploration-wise. In the meantime, the planet's terraforming sort of on it by itself with what we've already got here. We've got food here, if I need more food. We have cobalt, aluminum, titanium there. Then we've got 2 pieces of super alloy. So I really only need to find 1 more piece of super alloy to technically get the landing platform going. But yeah, that's going to basically be the plan here, is we're going to be out exploring. I think the first place we're going to go ahead and stop is during one of the previous parts, we did find a golden chest that, because my inventory was full at the time, we did not loot. We're going to go re-find that chest, take the contents out of it, and disassemble the chest. I believe the chest is made out of super alloy, if my memory is correct. So that's what we're going to do. We're basically going to go get some super alloy by disassembling a chest. And then, yeah, we'll continue looking for stuff if that... Well, that I think will be enough to get the rocket launch facility up. Then we'll probably want to be starting to gather some stuff to actually do some rocket launches, which is a couple additional steps after that, right? Okay, so we get over here. It was right about here where we saw it. So we'll re-oxygenate, get outside, and look for the chest. Remember it being in one of these rocky outcroppings. There it is. So, golden seed, really good oxygen modifier. Golden effigy, which is a thing. Some super alloy, some iridium rod, iridium, uranium, a couple aluminum, and then we can disassemble the chest, which yeah, scores us another super alloy. Yeah, I think that's the super alloy we need for the very next thing we want to build. I don't think I need the ice for right now. What we're going to do is start basically running back to base. If I see aluminum along the way, I will pick the aluminum up. Because the alternative to finding super alloy is there is a recipe for making it. So when I get back to base, I'll show you what the recipe is. I think it's like one of all the basic resources plus aluminum. Although I suppose aluminum technically is a basic resource. It's the first basic resource, well, besides iridium, that you have to get a specific location mine for. So you don't just find aluminum anywhere on the world, out in a random surface deposit. Same sort of thing with iridium. But it's generally considered semi-basic. Yeah, running ourselves back to base here. I'm going to show you what the recipe is, I think, for super alloy. I think we have the recipe now. I think it's here on you. Yeah. So it's cobalt, iron, magnesium, silicon, titanium, aluminum makes a super alloy. I think it's a little bit better for us to, at least until we get the miner go, look for it rather than make it. Until we get miners going. So I need 1 more super alloy, 3 titanium, and 3 iron, and we can set up a launch platform. Okay. What's it? Iron. Okay. Not sure if I've got the iron on. Oh, no, I have the iron. There we go. There's the iron. There's the super alloy. I'm just 1 titanium short. It's easy enough to source on the surface. There's 1. And then the launch platform is itself fairly large. So we're going to need to find a reasonably large open flat area to plop that on. Where it's not in the way, hopefully. There's another crash site over there to explore. There's quite a few of those. You know, that's not flat enough. Honestly, I put the base on a flat area, so I'd have a nice flat area for the base. But it's also a good place for the launch platform, except, you know, the base is in the way. Okay, so we hit the point where we got the ore extractor. We probably will want to get an ore extractor set up at some point, although that's more super alloy, osmium. We haven't found osmium. I'll have to go find some osmium at some point. Iridium, aluminum, and titanium. Okay, so it's the osmium there that's going to preclude us getting the mine set up anytime soon in large quantities. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Plop it there, and of course that eats all my power. I got the achievement, Are We Leaving? Build your first launch platform. The answer to Are We Leaving is no. Although, do we have any power? That's also a no. What do I want to build for power? Probably wants to be solar. So cobalt, silicon, magnesium, iron. Okay. Silicon. Missing the silicon. I think we'll put 2 up, so let's grab a second piece of magnesium anyway. Of course, I need to be out looking for stuff when it's dark. Find going out and looking right as it's getting dark during the day is maybe not the best time. Okay, there's one. Not enough to get power back online, which is kind of what I expected. Oh, and I'm cobalt short as well. Okay, so now we're back down to silicon. Are you silicon or iron? You're silicon. There, power restored. Grab a bit of oxygen, and we'll go look at what we need for these launches. In theory, we're going to need rocket engines. I know that from Ready, Set, Go, right? You're launching stuff into space, you need a rocket engine to launch it. The rocket engines aren't necessarily that cheap. Okay, so the crafting, we got 3 available rockets. We've got magnetic field projection rocket, attracts iridium. So this is one way to get iridium to fall. Super alloy, silicon, and a rocket engine. Asteroid attraction rocket, uranium. This makes uranium fall, so this will be one source of getting uranium early on. This is pressure, this is a heat multiplier. At least probably want to bring 1 in of each. If not more than 1. This is cobalt and silicon. We're getting a rocket engine. And then I brought up that there's a map in this game. Here you can see provides geolocation to the mapping screen. So launching these satellites to give us a map is how we get the map here. We need the compass, a compass chip, surplus to what we currently are using, a couple super alloy, and a rocket engine. So all these are going to require a rocket engine, and all of them are going to require 2 super alloy. So we need to get super alloy, we need to get a rocket engine. So we're going to still be looking for 0 for alloy. And if anything, it was maybe a little preemptive to get that set up. But now we know what we're looking for resource-wise. Okay, pop in here, get some oxygen. Put the aluminum away and the iridium rod away. Do I have table space for my golden golden effigy? Put the rocket back there. Yeah, we're gonna be out exploring again. Let's grab some food before we head out. Feed our character. I can put a better oxygen seed out here. So, golden seed. Okay. Golden seed's out. Or better than that one. Okay. That'll have a little bit of oxygen. Not actually sure if I have enough space in my seed storage for seeds. Oh, I am. I have plenty. Okay, we got more for eggplant. We want more eggplant. Let's try to go out and find some ice, because I'm out of water. And then we'll try to go with some water in our pack. We'll try to go exploring in a different direction to what we've been doing recently. See, the ground is getting sandier. Less and less cracked. Okay. And then I probably want to grab enough materials locally for a living compartment. So 2 iron, 3 iron, 2 titanium, and silicon if we can find it locally. That way, whenever we run low on oxygen, we can drop a living compartment to breathe in. There's the titanium. If we can find the silicon, we can probably pick the iron up on the way. Are you silicon or iron? You're iron. So for the moment, we've explored the sort of the Iridium Cave, one crash site up there, and one crash site over here, and I suppose one crash site over in the aluminum biome. So we're actually going to go exploring a different direction from the starting area. So the first step I'm going to do here is we're actually going to go back towards the starting area and pass through it. And we're basically going to explore in the other direction. It's the current plan I have going for me. There are some hidden secrets around the starting area that I haven't likely not found yet. Although if you were looking closely, you probably would have seen them in earlier parts. Scattered all around the map are the little blue chests with stuff in them. And again, occasionally, like we found recently, there are the golden chests that have stuff in them as well. So here's the starting base, the starting lander. And we've got a sort of initial base up here on the cliff, or up on this little ridge here. I believe this area is going to, as one of the other Twitch channels have brought up, is going to flood at some point. Although it's far enough in the future that's actually one of the reasons I put the first base up a little bit, is so we'd have some time between when the land starts to flood and the base flooding, right? So some gap between those two times in case we're still reliant on that base. I did go ahead and move the base eventually because I think we just needed more space, really. The main reason I moved it. Oh, here's a chest. It's Silicon, titanium, mostly basic stuff, although we definitely like the space stuff. And ice. Okay. We'll take it. That's actually my whole inventory. Wasn't expecting that to fill the whole inventory up. I wanted at least have space that I could disassemble the chest. We'll run up the hill here. I know I've got storage up the hill. Might actually take the opportunity to expand the storage up here. Because the area up here is going to stay above water. It doesn't flood that badly. Got anything in chest? No. You've got a flower pot. Okay, I need to drop something. We're gonna drop an ice. I wanna disassemble you. And then I want to put a bigger storage here. We're gonna upgrade to the locker storage. Wake you up. Your ice, I'm just gonna turn you into water. And then again, we want 2 pieces of titanium. So we'll leave the extra titanium here. I need 1 piece of silicon to set up the emergency base, and 1 piece of magnesium. Don't need the cobalt, so we'll leave that in the container here. And there is another hunk of ice over here that melts at 500 nanokelvin. We might actually be over 500 nanokelvin. I think it is melting. This hasn't necessarily melted enough for us to pass through yet. So eventually that will be a way to explore. Obviously not the way to explore right now. Although it's not necessarily going to be that much longer and we're going to be able to go that way. I think I'm gonna do the same here. I want to basically empty this out. Although I don't have enough carrying space. That way I don't come across the chest later and be like, ooh, is there anything interesting in here? And the answer to it being no. So run back up here. I can turn the cobalt into an air tank. Get something useful out of that. I don't think I need this much food either, so I'll put some of the space food away here. Oh, I will keep the oxygen tank. But yeah, you can sort of see the canyon away over there. That's where we're going to go exploring next, is down there. As soon as I do the sort of management of the chests here. Decide we're done exploring the very local area to the starting area. I think there is 1 golden chest down here, if I'm careful with where I'm looking. Yeah, there's the golden chest. So what we got in this chest? We got another golden seed. Got another golden effigy. And yeah, I don't have enough space to carry all this, although I could probably use the water bottle. Grab you. I guess we'll leave the iron in the chest for the moment. We'll be back. Yeah, we'll put it in the chest, basically in our OG base. Because to be fair, the chest is going to keep working even if the base floods. So, and I don't think we're anywhere near the base flooding. But yeah, this red planet is looking less red and more Earth-like already. Leave that there to pick up on the way back. And then we'll go disassemble the gold chest and keep exploring. Atmospheric water collector. We are going to want to build one of those fairly soon. Because remember, the planet's getting warmer, so once it gets warm enough, the ice here is going to melt. I'm not sure if the achievement I just unlocked on Steam, you didn't see the achievement, is quite accurate. What it was telling me is that we've reached the rain level, so it may start raining. Might have been a little preemptive. It still looks quite a bit dry, but oh, there goes the game. Deciding that I am fibbing and that it is in fact going to rain. Well, here it starts raining. Down in the chest here. What's interesting in it? Seeds. Iridium rods, uranium. We'll dump some stuff that we don't actually care about in here. Food, seed. I probably want that uranium as well. Guess we'll use the oxygen tank. Yeah, it's raining, getting very wet. Another crash chunk here, which is where I'm going to set the next base up, and we're going to explore this wreck. Ellie, get some oxygen. And then as an explorer, we're hoping to find some iron, so we can set up a chest in there. Although we are finding, and this is one of the reasons we came over here, just random power plants. In that case, that was a tier 2 solar, so I just went like, yep, we'll set that up right away. Can I get around to that chest? Yes. Hold off a little bit. I don't have the iron to store that stuff. I found a couple iron around here. Yeah, it's iron. And the rain. I think the rain's slowing down, actually. But even if it is slowing down, it will be back. Okay, let's store the semi-valuable stuff in here. Yeah, what do we have? Space to grab things and store things with. Yeah, back to being very red, although obviously there's been rain, so the ground is very different than what it was before. Open the chest. It's worth that. I don't think we have enough to set up a crafter, tier 1 crafter here. Iron and silicon. Actually, that wouldn't be too hard. We got a silicon, I just need to find... Oh, we're gonna got an iron in the chest, right? So now I can find some cobalt and grab some air in case something goes wrong. Yeah, we got the disassembled the solar panels here, so we'll go ahead and take advantage, or the abandoned solar panels here, so we'll go ahead and basically set them up. Get some effectively free power that way. Blueprint chip. Another blueprint, some seeds. Let's take the whole chest. Another chest in the back, yeah. It'll take us a couple trips to get this all back to base. Yeah, nice find over here. I knew there was a site over here. Maybe didn't realize exactly how rich the site would be, but useful for what we're working on. To the cobalt and oxygen. Put the rest away in the chest here. And we'll finish the disassembly. So we're going to take all of you. Get rid of the chest. So we don't come along and find an empty chest and be like disappointed that it's empty. Drink some water. What a container looks like over here. Yeah, and that's the... This sort of goes around in a circle, right? So this is actually the other end of the aluminum biome, I believe. Oh, actually, I don't think there's a way into this one. At least not from the sides we're looking at right now. Yeah, I don't think there's any way into that bit. I think that's everything here, unless I'm missing something. Wouldn't be surprised if I'm missing like a... Oh, missing a gold chest, I was about to say. Missing a chest hidden behind one of the pillars. Okay, I think that's enough exploring for the moment. Exploring this area for the moment. It's time to bring our loot home. So first we need to figure out what's actually worth bringing. Iron's probably not worth bringing. So as I actually do probably want to eat, so we'll eat some food. Silicon's not worth bringing. Bring the chips. Well, super alloy, yeah. Does leave the food here. We'll take more super alloy. Leave the water behind. Iridium, uranium, water, uranium. Okay, we're gonna have to take multiple trips, right? Take everything. But I think that's what we'll do for the first round. over 1 mega TI, whatever that stands for. Well, it stands for terraforming index. 1 mega terraforming index. Oh, here comes the rain again. I'm not sure if the flooding begins as soon as it starts raining. If it is, we might see some puddles on the way back through. Grab a little oxygen in the base here. I got a full inventory. I'll just pick some more stuff up for the way back. Get some air. And keep running. Might check what we need to set up a water collector. And set a water collector up. Where we have a source of water that is not based on ice. Yeah, what does the water collector require? Aluminum, superalloy, cobalt, magnesium, silicon, iron. Okay. Put the seeds away. We need 1 aluminum for that, so keep 1 aluminum in the inventory. Go to Blue Trip. Shredder. And a big living compartment. Not going to rebuild the base to account for a big living compartment. That would be a little bit better than, say, having a nodule in the middle of the building here. But yeah, not going to redesign the entire base right now to account for the fact that we don't need that anymore. I suppose try to put like with like first. And the water collector only requires 1 aluminum, 1 superalloy, 1 cobalt. So put the rest of the superalloy back. Magnesium, silicon, iron. So pop our head out, try to grab some magnesium, silicon, and iron. Okay, now for the really common one, which is the iron, and there's the iron. Yeah, we'll put this reasonably close to base, and hopefully... Well, we just set up more power on that exploration, right? So we should have enough power to power this. There we go. So this, over time, generates water. It's effectively a mine for water. And I suppose we can actually check how the terraforming is going before I take the trip here. It is, in fact, still growing, even though the index in the top right there is not really moving. Yeah, nuclear is the next one on that one. Sign is the next one on that one. That's not super important. Tier 4 heater is 1,000 times out, so not anytime soon for that. We're at 1/5 of the way to the Tier 5 backpack. And then actually on the biomass, we're probably really far out. We're actually getting pretty close to the biolab. And then that's the rate for all our stuff. So you can see it's moving. Sort of as you get better stuff, they go faster and faster and faster. But also the requirements to get anything from it goes up exponentially as well. So we're in the rain phase, and liquid water is... We're 14.5% liquid water, so that explains why there's no flooding yet. It is raining, but the rain, much like snow, the land is yet still too dry to stick. some combination of being hot and or too dry, so the the rain does not stick on the ground yet. Maybe the keyword there being yet, that will change. Get some oxygen and continue the run. Oh, there's another blue chest. I'm gonna leave that one alone just because I don't have. Well, I already suspect I'm not gonna have the inventory space to pick all the stuff up in it. Okay, that's where we left the living compartment. So let's go in and explore that, grab our stuff from there. I did set up a second chest that we didn't... actually, we used it for 1 iron. Not super important. I think we want to drink some of this water. Aluminum. Grab all the seeds. Grab the food. Iridium. Yeah, I'd rather have the iridium over the water. Or over the titanium, so yeah, I think that's what we're gonna take. And yeah, full inventory, time to run back. And we have rain. So I think with all the looting we've acquired, probably enough to get some basic rockets launched. Let's see if I can put some basic rockets together once we get back to base. Well, get a basic rocket launched, at least. We know we're a little bit far off from liquid water yet, so this area isn't going to flood quite yet, but when it does, we may want to move, or at least disassemble the stuff that will be ending up underwater. And we can get the materials back out of them. And I suppose the power generation doesn't work underwater, so the power plants at least can move. Okay, so we're back up here. Put the seeds away. So for the rocket engine, I need an iridium rod, 2 uranium, and a super alloy. It's aluminum, not a super alloy. Super alloy, iridium rod, 2 uranium. I think we'll make 2 rocket engines to start here. And I'm going to resist the urge to spend them on a jetpack. I don't think we need a jetpack at the moment. Let's go check what else we need for these rockets. And if it was one rocket engine or two, I think it's one for each launch. Silicon and super alloy. Super alloy and cobalt. So we probably want to launch both of those, or be able to launch both of those. If you're not going to launch them both at the exact same time. So here's the cobalt we'll need. Double checking to make sure I'd been picking up silicon and not iron by accident. And then we need a couple super alloy to launch these as well. Okay, so that's going to be the last of my super alloy. So we'll be back on the lookout for super alloy, unless we get really lucky with the asteroids weathering down. Let's send the uranium one off first. There's our rocket. Specifically, no, it's not going to tell me what it is. Hold on to the rocket. The asteroid attraction rocket, which will attract us uranium-containing asteroids. Goes our rocket. The incoming effects from that. We got asteroids on their way down. So the asteroid impacts will dump uranium. So if we're careful enough to find out where they land, we can grab some uranium from these crashes. Glowy green rocks. Oops, I may have got myself stuck here. The debris I'm stuck in will actually despawn after a while. Let's just stop it if we're going to get more. Here we go. It has also, in theory, boosted our terraforming of one of the types by 100%. Or 1,000%, so quite a bit. Okay, that's the inventory full. Yeah, as we progress, we're going to get other rockets that we can launch as well, besides those three. We're definitely going to launch the two that have the terraforming effects, so that's the first one, the uranium one. Well, actually, I suppose that's technically the second one, but I decided to launch that one first. We'll go launch the one that summons iridium next. Drop off the uranium that we found. No, I don't need this iridium. We'll drop the iridium as well. I'll leave the effigy behind. And then, did I have water? No, haven't found any water yet. Or didn't store any water in base. And yeah, the water collector is being quite productive as far as water is concerned, so that solves the water problem. Now, I believe what the asteroids bring in, that will despawn if you leave it alone long enough. So when I see them, I'm going to go grab them. So I see some uranium over here. Okay, that's the uranium at that location. And yeah, you can see the rocks disappear. I think it despawns after a while. They don't hang around forever. Now, if you every time you launch one of those rockets, you get a wave of stuff. I think you increase the probability that sort of asteroid swarm happens as well. Okay. Next is that magnetic field one, so we'll get the pressure multiplier. We got the heat multiplier, but the pressure is next. Off goes your next rocket. Slightly different shape because it's a slightly different thing. Yeah, it's supposed to trigger the asteroids, although I feel like the asteroids came a little quick. Go grab some air, and then probably by the time we're done with the air, grabbing, the asteroids will be on their way down so I can figure out where they're going to crash. Actually, let's make some of that food with us because I need to eat something because we get hit with an asteroid. Look at the sky in preparation for things to follow the sky. Or did we just get a sandstorm because I wasn't, Is that a sandstorm, not an asteroid impact? Maybe. I think that's supposed to... Well, it's supposed to bring down iridium asteroids. It's not the end of the world if it didn't. Yeah, not the end of the world if it didn't. Oh, here comes those asteroids. I guess certain weather effects don't overlap. Sometimes it brings in weather effects also to cover up the terraforming going on the map. I saw some indication that some of the terraforming effects might have kicked in. Iridium's a little less valuable than uranium, so I'm going to be a little less worried about picking it up. Partially because our base is right next to the iridium mine, whereas our base is quite a distance away from the uranium mine. I haven't know where the uranium mine is, so that's not a concern. But if you don't know where the uranium mine is, the uranium is probably a little bit more valuable for you than the iridium as well, because hopefully by this point in the game you've found the iridium mine, whereas you may not have found the uranium one yet. And to be fair, we haven't found the uranium one. I just have to know where it is. Spoilers, I know where certain things are. Oh, I'm low on oxygen. We have to be close to one of the bases, so that's not a problem. I meant to come over here and pick this stuff anyway at some point, so I'll just pick it up now. So this would be one situation where I think the jetpack would help. Would be getting up and over and through all this debris. Oh, there's some uranium. That's presumably from the earlier uranium impacts. The debris despawns faster than the loose stuff that drops from it. And to be fair, one of the reasons to pick up this iridium rate is we have to use 8. Is it 8 or 9? It's a lot. We have to use a lot per rocket launch to make the rocket engine. And because I don't have a miner set up, specifically mining it, we don't have infinite iridium. Well, we have infinite because it falls from the sky, but we don't have infinite as in... I can't just go to a spawn and be like, give me all the iridium and have as much as I want. That's a chest. We're gonna leave that chest alone for the moment. Most of the asteroids fall within a certain radius of where you are when the asteroid thing starts. So not too much of a point in scouting too far out. I'm just not quite used to the drop circle. I think I saw some stuff fall over here. At least the stuff that's dropping right now is also going to glow either red or green, so it's a bit easy to see from a distance. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of oxygen back in this base over here. We're going to head back to base. And I'm going to check up on what we can build. Pretty sure at this point we've got some somewhat valuable stuff to build, although it might require actually making some super alloy to get underway. But yeah, we got the GPS satellite to launch as well, although that'll require getting another rocket engine going. Although much like you needing a module to see the sensor tower, or the sensor output on Subnautica, I believe you need that in Planet Crafter as well. So this gives us the GPS, but unless we are at the mapping screen, we don't get to see the map. So I think when we launch this, we'll get a screen that we can set up to get a rough map of the area. So this is maybe not a rush to build, because unless I'm able to check on it when we're unbound, it might be a little bit less useful. But that'll get more useful as we go on. So that's rocket engine, a microchip compass, and a couple super alloy. I might hold off on launching that one because that isn't going to help with terraforming in the short run. In the long run, that might be useful for navigation. And yeah, in theory, that's significantly increased the rate that we're making heat and pressure. And yeah, we're really running off towards the liquid water stage. So we're about halfway to the Tier 5 backpack. We are going to have to get oxygen flowing to get the next level of heater. Although there's not actually much as far as oxygen rewards go left. It's the heater, the tree spreader, and the water life collector. More than a third of the way to the algae generator. More than a third of the way to the Tier 2 nuclear reactor. We haven't even set up the Tier 1 yet. So, yeah. And we got a bunch of uranium. We're trying to set up a reactor. Got even more uranium. A little short on the super alloy. Gotta grab an iron. Need some iron for setting up a table so I can display the golden effigies. Oh, there's some uranium over there. I'm gonna grab that uranium before it despawns. I've already let this part run a little long, so I should really go and put part break in here. So we're gonna get this uranium, we're gonna get those effigies set up, and then we'll put a part break in. I'll probably look at the list of possible things to build beginning of next episode. Honestly, with this much uranium, it might be worth trying to set up a uranium reactor, even if we're going to probably be thinking about taking it apart very quickly. That's silicon, that's not made of iron. There we go. How much do we need for the table? 2 pieces of iron. Yeah, at some point I might be thinking about putting more space in here, but for the moment we're going to make do with what we have. Seeds, there's the FGs. Let's pick this one up as well. Yeah, just click on it. I don't disassemble it to set it up. Okay. I believe there's golden effigies besides these rockets. A couple different shapes of them. I think we've only just found rockets at this point. But yeah, I think we're off to a good start for the stream. We got our water collector going. We got a couple of rockets launched. Oops, I meant to consume that, not drop it on the floor, please. Thank you. And yeah, we're going to be flying off towards liquid water, so at the beginning of the next part, we're going to have the liquid water. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I am going to record more, although I am going to get up and take a quick stretch break, sip the tea, and that sort of stuff. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or bit, and bye for now.